Live.
What's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday night, 7 p.m. That means, once again, we're back in the man cave, live, Polk Hoops, number one source for Polk County High School basketball. Appreciate everybody checking in and rocking with us tonight. We got a good show for you, so I want to go ahead and get started. But before we do, I want to say what's up to the All-State PG, All-State coach. What's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's up?
It's good.
Just trying to make it on in, man. Trying to live on the right side of the Lord, man. Just, the devil busy. Devil try to, tempt you, try to get you out of your walk, and you just got to kind of keep reminding yourself that, you got a higher purpose. So I appreciate y'all guys rocking with us. I appreciate y'all guys, always being here for us. So without further ado, I don't know, PG, if you got anything you want to pass about, or you got a Tuma State today, or you just kind of chilling?
It ain't about high school basketball, but I do got a Tuma. I got a question for you guys since we're talking basketball. Is LeBron finished?
Keep reminding yourself that. Is LeBron what now?
Is LeBron done?
I don't think so. Like, finished playing?
Yeah.
Nah, man, he's going to continue to play. He's still playing at a high level. You know what I'm saying? Will he still continue to be a Laker? That might be, another discussion, but he's going to be on the court next year.
Is he done being at the level? I think he about to take a step back. Because once you start getting nagging injuries, and the older that you get, it's harder to bounce back from them. And like he got a nagging injury this year that I think was a little more serious than people kind of gave credit to. And, he 18, he'll be 19 years in next year. And he can't take over and just carry a team, not because of his talent. I just don't think body-wise, and he got a great body, but you start getting ankle injuries and, that stuff that just kind of don't go away. I think that it's gonna be tough for him, in my opinion. And I know I'm gonna get killed by all the Laker fans and all the LeBron fans, but that's just, you asked the question. That's my take. So I think it's gonna go back a little bit.
Gotcha. Well,
I mean, because you look at this past series, and he couldn't do what he normally would do. He couldn't. They got drugged back-to-back games, and in years past, you never known a LeBron team to get drugged like that. And so I just, and it ain't his fault, but he gonna be the one to get the credit and the blame. So now one thing I don't necessarily agree with. We don't talk about this. The man been in the league 18, 19 years, and all the stuff that he's done. He probably the most criticized superstar in the history of basketball, and you either love him to death or you hate him to death. It's like it ain't no in between, and that's crazy to me. But
but you know what though, Barnes? If you are a true basketball fan, you have to appreciate what LeBron has done for basketball. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan where I'm following LeBron from team to team. I'm a Laker fan till I die. But what he's done for basketball, if you're a true basketball head, you gotta appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the top players that we'll see. We'll appreciate him more when he's gone. But what comes with that is to be highly criticized. It's always a debate. Is he the greatest or not? And that's always gonna be there. I think mainly that's there because they don't have nothing else to tear him down. Like, he don't have them off the court issues like everybody else had. So they gotta find something else to try to tear his legacy down.
I think he needs to play. I think he needs to dominate the ball. I think he needs to go back to playing the point. I don't think he took a step. I think he didn't take a step back far as a player. Still put up 22, 25 somewhere around a game before the injury. But me and Tracy talked about this before the pandemic when he was with LA, and we talked about the reason why guys like Kobe were so good in their late end. LeBron, they dominated the ball. and you think about the year LA just won in the bubble, he played the point more than anybody on that team. And then this year, Schroeder handled the ball way more than LeBron did. And I think that took him off. That kind of took him off balance of how dominant he can be. Plus, he was hurt. He wasn't never 100% when he came back anyway. But losing AD didn't help that series at all.
So what you guys are Laker fans? So what's next for the Lakers? Because that's experiment this year failed horribly. So what happens now?
I honestly didn't think the experiment failed. I think the injuries caused the experiment to fail. Like you talking about when both was healthy at the beginning of the season, Lakers were what, the top 2 or 3 seeds, right?
But
so it never got to play together, bro. Like you can't say it failed when they never got a chance to play together.
So
like
you
good
with
the? We should have moved.
I thought we should have moved at the trade deadline.
We had to make a move.
Yeah, and we didn't make a move. I think we failed right there. I don't think the personnel was a failure because they were playing great basketball. Then LeBron gets hurt, or AD got hurt first, and then LeBron. But I mean, I definitely thought we should have traded. I mean, you talked about it the other day, Barnes, like how you don't trade. We are 2-star players hurt right before trade deadline, and all you focus on is getting the out of shape Drummond.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I mean,
you had to find somebody that can score, either another shooter that can really shoot it, or somebody that can create their own shot, and that's what we didn't do, and that's what I think hurt us when we got into the playoffs, because we got it to the point where we couldn't score against the Suns, and
couldn't score. Yep,
and that hurt us. That killed us.
We had no shooters. I was just looking at the Dallas game though. Even with the Dallas, like he had no help. Luka had no help, and it got exposed late in the game. And that's the same type of situation you're looking at LeBron. And when you don't get no help from nobody, it's not a good situation. But that's all I had, man, on Tuma Take.
Okay, well, we'll pass to Coach's corner. You got anything in your corner?
Yes, sir. I got something that's that I want to ask you guys. Now June is a high school month, so these kids are going back to their high schools, and we got summer league coming up, teen camps coming up. So, as a coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, what mindset as a coach are we looking to do when we're going into summer league and these teen camps? So, what are you looking for your program to do during this time?
Build a brotherhood, a relationship, understand roles. The focus can't be on winning in the summer. It's more certain mastering the system. Build, make sure the guys build some type of relationship with each other. That's the whole point of going to camps, especially when you're staying overnight. And then kids being able to understand what their role is going to be on the team, and maybe they can improve. But you know what I'm saying? It's just as important to master. Like he's saying, build chemistry. I just say master the system that's going to be put in play.
I think that's important for. I think that's important for the camps. Summer league probably this year more than past summer league. I think it's going to be more about. I don't want to say I don't know if bragging rights is the right thing, but I think these kids want to establish who is the top dog, the dominant team, who to watch out for. I know that I talked to a couple kids, couple teams in the last couple weeks, and that's kind of been the theme. They want folks to respect them, to know about them, to not be I don't want to say disrespected, but not be overlooked. And so I think that the summer league is going to be probably more competitive this year than it has been, because teams are looking to validate themselves. I mean, you understand who the top dog is, but not everybody, but a lot of teams that's their goal, to show that they need to be in the conversation as well. So I agree with the chemistry thing, but I also know that some teams are very interested in making sure that folks know that they will be in the conversation.
Who won the last summer league before COVID?
Before COVID, it was was it Jenkins? Was it Jenkins?
I'm not sure.
It was I know it was it wasn't Bartow, because that's the year when Bartow split their team. Santa Fe, I think they lost in the championship game. Did they lose? Who they lost to? They lose to Jenkins or Lakeland? I want to say Jenkins.
I mean, I know it's COVID, but see,
I want to say Jenkins.
Nobody remembers who wins Summer League.
Well, at the end of the day, nobody remembers it. But for these jitterbugs, the way the format's going to be this year, it's going to be a whole lot more, of bragging rights, because every night every team is in the same location. So it's going to be not just like that Armandale Wednesday night atmosphere. It's going to be a much more competitive atmosphere. That's the vibe I've gotten from folks, that Summer League will be more. It's more of a showcase.
Them kids got that Polk hoops hype. They want to get ranked and all that. They remember the year that Jenkins won and we started ranking players, and people was like, "Man, you tried me. How you put such and such ahead of me before Walt made the transfer?" So that's what they hyped on. Where you gonna put them at ranking wise and all that.
Right.
It's gonna be tough for us as evaluators on Summer League. Like Coach saying that the kids are putting a lot into it because they want the bragging rights. They want to see, where they're at compared to everybody else. And again, what Tuma said, it's about, defining your role, building chemistry as a team, and getting better. But I know from a coaching standpoint, it's going to work twofold. Like, yes, you want to win. You want to work on certain things. But I know Coach McGill's not worried about winning or losing. You know what I'm saying? He lost a lot of players. So he's going to have to give those kids opportunities to see who he can depend on. I know that he's not setting out like, hey, we're trying to win Summer League, because I know that's not his goal. So, how do we evaluate that when we start ranking teams? Because, like I said, his goals and his expectations for his team are going to be different from everybody else that's trying to establish themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like Tuma say, like, who's going to remember who won Summer League? You know what I'm saying? So Summer League is important. Don't get me wrong. But, in the end, I don't think it's a lot of stock into who wins or lose Summer League. You just want to see teams get better and improve.
Okay. Well,
don't believe in that Polk hoop hype. Don't believe in the Polk hoop hype when you rank somebody number 10, they thought they should have been number 2.
My bad. So okay, well that's fair enough. So we know it. We're gonna talk about it here in a little while. We're gonna break down the week 1 Summer League in a minute. But before we do
I said we got them shirts ready though. We got them shirts ready. We're gonna be giving them out for Summer League. So don't go out there half stepping.
Yeah. Don't get caught slipping. It's here. It's here and it starts tomorrow at the field house. So, all right.
Every Sunday, I'm giving you business if you get that sausage put in you. Since there's so much hype on Summer League.
So we gonna go ahead and transition. We're gonna get back to the Summer League, but we want to go ahead. We got one of the top officials in LRBOA, make sure I say it right, Lake Region Basketball Officials Association. They're going to stop by just in time for Summer League to kind of give us some insight on some things and some viewpoints from an official's part of view. So without further ado, want to bring in Mr. And we appreciate you rocking with us because, officials kind of get a bad rap on here. So we just, if I kind of give you forewarning, can't control what might come up. But in any event, he agreed to come on, so we appreciate you jumping in the man cave with us for a little while, Mr. Chip Clark.
Hey, fellas, thank you so much for having me on, man. Listen, I know it comes with the territory, so I'm not even going to look at the comment section over there, all right? So I know what's up. Hey, listen, I know what's up. It's okay. But, hey, seriously, though, thank you guys for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. You guys do such a great job promoting high school basketball in Polk County and the incredible student athletes that we have in Polk County. We've got so many of them. You guys do a great job with that. So keep up the good work. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say to the fans that are watching, I love the passionate fan bases that we have in our area. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say passionate, right? So I love the passionate fan bases that we have in our area. And it was kind of brought to light a little bit when I kicked off the college season this past year, where, for most of the college season that I reffed, like, we didn't have any fans in the building, and so it was nice to be able to come back and do some high school games to where we had some fans, even though it was limited capacity. It's great to be able to have fans in the building, the energy and the emotion that come with it. So thank you guys for showing up and showing out. I love the passionate fan bases that we have in the in the county. And so but anyway, man, I'm honored to be here, guys. Thank you guys for having me on. Seriously.
Okay. So y'all want to start? I see both of y'all.
I got a question too.
Hey, listen. Hey, Tuber, no questions are off limits. The only thing I told Billy D is I won't talk bad about any of our officials. That's the only thing I won't do. So
it might be by Billy D with me.
Okay. Since
so
he's here to defend himself, so it's okay. So
okay, so Chip, what's the suitcase? Why the refs carry the suitcase? What's the suitcase for?
Hey, listen, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's been the question of mine. Like, what is up with the suitcase?
Okay, so listen, a lot of us get off work and we come straight to our games. We have lives outside of officiating. I know it's hard to believe sometimes. We're actually the only profession where, it's kind of expected for us to show up perfect to work and get gradually better as the game goes along. But we actually have jobs outside of officiating where we have to be good at our jobs. We come straight from our jobs sometimes. We got our bags already packed in the back seat, and so we just rolling up in there, go to the locker room, change, and that's what's with the suitcases.
Okay, so my second question is a serious question. How challenging was it this year to ref most of those high school games with only 2 refs?
Well, that was a challenge. It's something that we identified that we had to change. We had to do whatever we could to work with the county, to get back to 3-person crew games for varsity boy contest. Like I mentioned earlier, we got some incredible athletes in Polk County, and they like to run and gun and get up and down that court. And having just 2 officials out on that court, I'm going to dig into it a little bit earlier as we get into the art of officiating. But I mean, angles are everything, and when you only have two officials on the court, sometimes it makes no doubt it's going to make our job much more difficult to be able to get the proper angle, to get open looks on plays. And just to be honest with you, we're going to get beat even in 3-person crews. These guys are fast, and even the girls are fast, so we're going to get beat in transition from time to time. And but with 2-person crew, it makes it exponentially tougher to get the plays right, which is our main objective. And so we identified that needed to change. And thankfully, all parties involved and all key stakeholders worked with us as an association to move forward to getting back to 3-person crews. And I was very grateful.
That's it for me.
Oh, thanks, Taylor.
Coach Billy D.
I just want to piggyback on what Chip said. Tuma, me and Chip had Mount Dora Eustis. It was only us 2. Rival game. It was a close game and an intense game, and like you said, man, angles are important. Becoming an official made me a better coach, and it also helped me understand how tough their job is. So I've actually lightened up on them because I know how tough it is to be an official. But at the same time, you can't give me a BS answer on a call because I'm gonna call you out on rules. Calling in your calling area and things of that nature. And me and Chip have talked. I think something needs to happen where we have some type of clinic for coaches so we can get clarification on certain rules and kind of build relationships from there. So, I don't really have a go ahead.
Oh yeah, and I wanted to hop on what Billy D was saying too, because I mean, the relationships are important between coaches and coaches and officials, right? All right. So what Billy D was saying too, like the kind of the eye-opening experience of becoming an official. Some of the things I want to get into in just a few minutes is kind of how my eyes opened too when I became an official to the rules. There's a lot of things that I was taught and that are still taught today by coaches that are illegal by rule. And we're going to get into a few of them here in a second, but I was taught that at an early age. They're still taught today. And so when those calls are made on the court that are illegal and we blow the whistle, you know, everybody in the building thinks, hey, that's a BS call, you know, but by rule it's not. And so because everybody, even myself before I became an official, was kind of ingrained in our brain to, you know, this is how it is, and the rule has something different to say. But the relationship between coaches and officials is extremely important. I in fact, in one of my side gigs is I actually organize first-class coaches clinics across the country, 3 to 4 every year, every summer, usually at the end of the summer. And being able to rub shoulders with coaches and talk to them from an official's perspective has just been really valuable. But empathy also plays a part in that too. When all parties involved in a game, in a contest, are able to empathize with the other parties and try to put themselves in their shoes, it makes for a better atmosphere for a game. And then that allows the game itself and the players themselves to really be the key focus on those games. And I see a lot of value in that. So I'm definitely going to be jumping on board with Billy D's idea if we can.
What is the number one complaint, if you can come up with one, that coaches have that they think should be called that actually is not called because by rule it's not a call, if you can think of one, if that makes sense?
Yeah, we'll go over a few, but and there's some that don't happen very often. That's the thing, Barnes, is there's some that don't happen very often, but I mean, obviously your more contentious plays like travels, you hear that from the coaches in the coaches box every game, and then block charge plays, which coincidentally those two plays are the two toughest calls for officials. Billy D can attest to that. Traveling plays are one of the toughest plays to adjudicate, and block charge plays are the second toughest in my opinion, because there's so much going on with that. There's so much you have to focus on at one time, and we'll get into it a little bit later. But that's kind of the number 1 and 2 plays that I would say, you know, coaches and here's the thing about coaches. Billy D can, I mean, you guys know this too. Fans are asking for this and begging for this all the time too, right? Consistency is what key stakeholders in the game want out of officials. That's all they want. They just want consistency. Our goal every night we step on the court as officials, and you know, I'm the training liaison, training and education coordinator liaison for our association, right? So a lot of the training content I'm trying to pump out, and my committee is trying to pump out, is really centered around our officials being able to do 3 things well. Because you can be a good official if you do 3 things well. Get the plays right is our number 1 objective. Got to get the plays right. That's why we're there, right? So we got to get the plays right. We've got to be an adequate communicator with coaches. So what Billy D said earlier, don't give me a BS answer. You know, if I ask you about a play, you got to give me the real. You know, I can tell if you're BS. And the number 3 thing, most important thing, is to manage major moments. If you can do those 3 things as an official, you're going to be a great official. So every night when we go into the game, we want our officials to think, hey, we want to be the best team on the floor. And by being the best team on the floor, we're not going to be recognized. Now, I know that's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. We're not going to be able to achieve that every game. Everybody's going to notice the officials at some point. But we want to officiate a safe and fair contest, because that's what the coaches and especially the student athletes that have worked so hard deserve. So that's our goal.
I think one of the biggest things that I've seen that has been a problem with our Lake Region refs is when certain people get together, their main focus is to dictate the game, and they take over the game more than letting the kids play. And I think one of the most notable games that I saw of that was the Bartow-Kathleen game. I know you're not going to speak on it, but it's just like a lot of times you see guys that dictate the game, like they want to be like for instance, you said you don't want to be seen as the ref that you're having the conversation on. Well, there's a lot of guys that want to make the game more about. It looks like the game is more about them compared about the game being more about the kids. And I think that's always been something that being a fan of the game now and not playing it, that I see a lot of refs get caught up on. My other question was, I know Greco used to always do the assignments of the refs. Do you guys feel like are you guys like in partnership with the same refs every single, like you and Billy D would be together? How does that work? Like, wouldn't it be better to have guys that are together and know each other as far as reffing compared to just randomly you're going here this week with a new guy, next week you with another different guy, the next week you with another different guy? And where does it become a plus for refs to actually be able to gel together and understand? Because you might know how to run this side of the court and see the floor better than Billy D, who might be on the other side and can see the floor better. But when you're randomly working with guys over and over and over again, what's the plus to that, and why don't they kind of have you guys kind of work together?
Yeah, so there's some states that actually do that actually assign that way, and you're with your same crew, like football, but it's for basketball in some states, where you're with your same crew start of the season to the end of the season. I actually have a kind of different take on it, and I like the way we do it now because, if you're with that same crew through the duration of the season, if, let's say, for instance, one of your officials, let's say me, for instance, all right, say I'm on the same crew with two other officials, and I get bad marks throughout the season. I get bad evaluations. I'm not doing my part. I'm not carrying my weight. It makes the whole crew look bad, and then we're not going to get as many game assignments, right?
Gotcha.
And then I've just torn down my two partners, and really they may have been outstanding, like all-stars, and just really great officials. But another opinion of mine is I like the way we do it because personally, part of the benefit of being an official, and one of the things I love most about it, is the camaraderie that we get to have. I like working with different officials every night. And of course, we work with the same officials multiple times. I think I worked with Billy probably maybe 4 or 5 times this year. And I love every time I get a chance to work with him. But I like being able to alternate too. I like to be able to rub shoulders with different officials, see how we gel together as a crew. And then when come playoff time, once we're assigned to playoff crews, that's when we stay with our same crews throughout the duration of the playoffs, if that makes sense.
So why you never work with Tim?
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about any of our officials in our association. Hey, what is Marshawn? Hang on, Marshawn Lynch said, "I'm just here so I don't get fined," but I can't even say that. I'm just going to say next.
I was setting you up for it.
I know, man. Come on now.
But Chip, I know you had some things you want to share with people, so we want to go ahead and give you that time.
Hey, thank you, man. So kind of my objective of coming on tonight was, one of our mission as an association is to foster, improve, and perpetuate competent officiating, which is some of what we already talked about. But the second half of our mission statement for our members is to promote better working conditions for our officials. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to before you beat these guys up for having me on, I'm not here to chastise anybody or call anybody out. That's not what I'm doing. I think that maybe having a discussion on maybe some misunderstood rules could help fans maybe see through the eyes of an official and see our perspective from time to time. And maybe it'll help perpetuate maybe it'll help improve working conditions for our officials on the court that night. I have to say the disclaimer first. This does not absolve us of our mistakes. As the training liaison, one of the things I preach to our officials all the time is go do your homework. Evaluate your game film. After I get home from a game, after I work a game, every single night I work a game, I get home and I turn on tape from another game that's going on in our association that night. And I evaluate the whole entire game. Not evaluate our officials, but I'll jot down some notes. I'll clip some plays for them, and I'll send some plays to the crews if they want it, right? And just provide them feedback and let them know, hey, you're doing a good job, or, this is what I saw. What do you think? So breaking down our own game film or having somebody break it down for us and send us stuff is going to help us get better as officials. So we want to do the homework on our end too. All right. Now, part of that is if we can do that and we can try to get better as an association and continue to improve, we'd like to, the more people know, the more of the key stakeholders in the game know about the rules and about what's going on in our profession. I think it'll help open eyes a little bit and help people see it from our perspective. So, all right. So that's kind of the whole reason I'm here. I'm not here to call anybody out or, I'd like to talk about sportsmanship, but I'm not going to do it in that way. The only thing I'm going to say about sportsmanship is I'm not going to call any names on this, but I want to give shout outs real quick. There's 2 fans in particular that I'm thinking of right now that 2 years ago to last year, I saw a ton of improvement from, as far as not just badgering officials all game long. And I just wanted to say thank you. If they're listening, thank you so much. I saw improvement. I saw improvement out of some players this year. And I wanted you to know, as an official, I recognize that and I appreciate that. Now, I'm not saying that people that call us out during the game, I'm not trying to say, don't. Part of the emotion of the game, we know we're going to get booed from time to time, right? I think if we can all respect each other enough to know where the line is of what not to cross, I think that could be a good thing. But I just wanted to praise some fans that I noticed last year that did a great job. You probably know who you are if you're on here, but I just wanted to say thank you so much. I noticed it, and I just wanted to say thanks. Now, I want to get into some misunderstood rules real quick. You guys cut me off if you have any questions or if I'm getting boring, because that's the last thing that I want to do. All right, so I want to give some perspective. So, for instance, angles, I said, is the most important thing in officiating. Something that I see from my angle is going to be different than something that you see from your angle in the stands or a coach sees from the coaching box. That doesn't mean that we're right all the time. If we're wrong, we need to take ownership for that. And we talk to our officials about that. Hey, let the coach know if you miss a call and you're pretty sure you missed it, hey, let them know you missed it. You know, I mean, it's not going to make them feel good in that moment, but do it. But it does mean that part of officiating is finding the right angle, finding the open looks, being in the right position, and knowing your coverage areas. All right. So one of the things we work with our officials on is to be able to, first of all, call strong in your primary coverage area. All right. If you step outside your primary coverage area and call in another official's primary, which is your secondary coverage area, you got to throw strikes. You got to be right. There's no 2 ways about it. You can't call outside your primary and be wrong. So those are things that we're trying to hammer home too, that our officials are starting to warm up to and get better at. And then we want to make sure that we're consistent and we're, that calls are, if we call something on one end, we've got to call it on the other end. So those are things we're preaching to our officials, hopefully. And I wanted to say, just for perspective. So talking about different perspective, if I hold this up right here and I tell you, and I ask you guys, what do you see? All right. What can you read right there? You're going to say Nestle Pure Life. Well, if you ask me what I see, all I see is ingredients and nutrition facts, right? That's my perspective. That's what I'm looking at. This is what you're looking at. This is what I'm looking at. We're both looking at the same thing, but we have different perspective, right? This is this way in any part of life. When you're having crucial conversations about, whether it be anything, politics, race, anything, you want to try to understand the other's perspective on things, and try to work with each other to find a common goal, or just try to understand the perspective. That's where empathy comes in. All right. So that's kind of where we're coming from. There's a different perspective on the court, just like in those type things. Different angles are important. I may see something completely different. It is our job to find the open look, to find the open angle, to see between matchups. So when you see the ball swinging around the top of the key, and I'm the center official on the weak side, and it's being swung my way, and I see that pass is going to be caught and it's going to be a potential catch and shoot. When you see me step down and look up, it's because I need that open angle to see between the shooter and the defender who's closing down. All right. We want to make sure we see the open angles, because in that situation, our play sequencing that we teach to our officials is up, down, rebound. When they catch that ball on a catch and shoot, you want to adjust your body, step down, find the open angle, officiate that shooter from the ground up, see the top, look for any point of contact by the challenging defender up top, and then all the way back down to the floor. You got to watch them land, and then, and only then, can you turn your attention to the rebounding action. All right. So these are just things that we teach in as far as part of the art of officiating that we picked up from different levels, whether it be NBA officials or from college ranks, that we're trying to incorporate in our association that are going to help make us better officials.
Hey, Chip.
Rob, yeah, go ahead.
Ain't no way in hell Billy D doing all that.
Yeah, he is.
Whatever, bro.
I saw him fight for some I saw him fight for angles this year. In fact, I'll tell you this right now. Hey, listen, I reviewed the game film from the game that Billy and I officiated that he talked about at Eustis and Mount Dora, and he called a heck of a game that game. So I got to give him props on that. So anyway, I reviewed that game film the very next day, which is something I do personally. I review a game film. I don't like to watch my own game from that night the very same night. I like to let that digest. I'll watch a different game of our officials that night, and then the next day during my lunch break, every single day during basketball season, I watch my game film from the night before, chart plays, breakdown plays, and that's something that we're encouraging our officials to do. Not everybody has the time to do that, but I will say this, Tuber. The game I watched of me and Billy at Houston or at Mount Dora in Houston, he called a great game. So anyway,
I'm getting better, Toby. I'm getting better.
Hey, chill, you got a little deep there, man. I'm like, ain't no way in hell Billy D knowing angles and hitting it like that. Hey, Billy D, you might well put you in the cut.
Bro, I'm getting better every time. I'm getting better.
Hey, I'm only calling out Billy D because that's my brother.
That's right.
He on here. I ain't gonna call out the other people because I know damn well they ain't doing angles and all that. Chip, that's a little deep right there, man. I thought Hey, Chip, I thought I wanted the ref. I'm gonna go ahead and fall back and say, never mind. Because I ain't gonna anger you and all that type of stuff there.
Hey, listen, man, it is fun. It's reward. I'm going to talk about that at the end, and I promise I won't be too long tonight. But I would love to have more officials join our ranks, man. Seriously, it's such a rewarding job. Like, you get to stay close to the game. I mean, the game gave so much to me when I was coming up, right? It gave me so much. It taught me so much, and just to be close to the game and stick around it. Just to be around and see, dude, I'm telling you, some of these nights, getting to watch some of these athletes that we have in Polk County, I know I've said it a million times, but man, seriously, there's some nights where you officiate in the game and you see just incredible stuff that these athletes can do, man. It's exciting being around it, being around the game. It's exciting communicating with coaches, even though sometimes those conversations can, go south if we don't handle it the right way. I think with those, last thing I'll say about that is empathy is key. Being able to, one of the things I'm trying to get better at, and I know coaches that may be watching this can attest to, I'm trying to get better at putting myself in coaches' shoes, right? A lot of what I do in the off season is centered around coaches, with my coaches clinics and everything like that. I'm trying to get better at my communication with coaches, having more empathy, giving clear and concise answers, and that's something we're trying to get all of our officials to get better at too. So.
Okay.
Before
you got to be the head official, man. Ain't no way in hell somebody waking up to this type of stuff that you're doing.
No, listen.
I can't see it. I don't want to start calling guys out. June Jackson ain't doing all that.
Stop. No, listen. I'll say this though, Timmer. Here's the deal. I do this because my goal is to be a D1 men's college official someday. Right?
There you go.
That's my goal. And so I work towards that goal every single day, just like these student athletes work to get a college scholarship, get an offer, so they can get to the next level and keep going up. That's my goal too. That is not every official's goal, right? So the challenge sometimes becomes so I want to put in preparation for each of my games to get me better game by game. But there's some officials, and I'm not criticizing this at all, there's some officials who just do it as a side gig to stay attached to the game and give back to the game. That's admirable. Just because they don't have the same aspirations as I do doesn't mean they're any less of an official, right? So we want to be able to give the quality training content to them and provide it to our officials so they can tune up their game and continue to get better throughout the season, just like I'm trying to do. I'm not perfect, man. I'll tell you. Everybody that's on this watching tonight can attest to that. I'm not perfect. I'll be the first person to say it too, but we want to try to continue to get better, just like everybody else does. In their job.
You're gonna be a high level referee.
I don't know, but I hope so.
I'm very confident. Like I've seen you ref before. You're not one of the trash. You're not one of the trash that.
I don't think any. I appreciate that, but I don't think any official should be a one to trash. To be honest with you, so
this Polk hoops now. This tumor. I gotta keep it honest with you now. If I felt that you were trash, I would tell you, Chip, you got a little trash behind you. You got you got some grade A sanitation, and I know them guys ain't deep off in it like you is, man. You teaching me some stuff. You teaching me some stuff, man.
Well, listen,
he's the person that I contact often and like, hey, Chip. I had this play today. Can you further explain this rule to me? He's one that I contact all the time.
I'm actually glad that you on the show. I mean, honestly, I'm at first when they said the ref was coming on, I was like, oh hell, I was gonna be bored. But I'm actually glad that it's you that's on the show because I know you know how to ref, and you're only explaining yourself in detail on how serious you take it, not to disclaim what anybody else does as far as like how serious they take it. So like you say, some people, I know if I $35, my attention span ain't long enough to be focusing on angles and details. But from watching you ref now, I can respect you more because you take it serious, because you want to take it to the next level. And you know, it's some guys that just love doing it to give back and just want to be seen as a ref. And that's not a bad thing. Thank you, Billy D, for making this happen, man. So fans can also hear somebody that takes it serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never knew that it was somebody that actually ref that took it that deep. That's a great thing to learn about the game.
And here's the thing too, and not sorry to cut you off, but I got to say there's a plenty of our officials in our association that actually take it seriously, that just do it as a recreational thing, like just to stay attached to the game, that don't have aspirations of going to the next level. So I'd be remiss if I didn't, at least recognize that our officials in our association, there's things that we can do better as a whole. There's things that each one of us individually can improve on, right? I've got a list right now, a running list of 30 things that I need to get better at by the time I go to camp this summer. The 3 camps I'm going to this summer, I have to improve on these things before I go to camp. I'm not here, though, to promote like what I'm doing. I'm saying that a lot of these things that I'm doing on my own for my game, we're actually trying to incorporate that into our training materials that all of our officials in LRBOA are privy to, right? So we want to be able to have dialogue with our officials. We've had Zoom training meetings over the last season. Some of those training meetings are available on our website for them to go back and reference if they want to. But we deep dive a lot of things I just talked about, and even things that I'm about to talk about. But I wanted to ask you guys real quick if y'all had any other questions before I go over just a few misunderstood rules. All right, cool.
We're ready for you to share.
All right, cool. So listen, every night when we step out on the court, there's a few things that we hear from the stands. We don't acknowledge or kind of look over or whatever, but we hear from the stands certain things that are yelled out, right? And that have to do with rules, right? And so I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence here, so please honestly, don't get the wrong idea on that. But, there's one thing we hear every night. We hear, that's a reach. That's a reach, ref. All right, so I wanted to touch on that one first. First of all, there is no such thing as a reaching foul in our NFHS rulebook. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a reach that's a violation or a foul, okay? Where the legality comes into question on a reach, well, actually, I got to go back. Rule 424.2, which talks about the illegal use of hands in the NFHS rulebook, talks about how it is legal to reach. It says it's a legal use of hands to reach for the ball from the dribbler or somebody shooting or holding the ball. So it actually says that it is legal, not that it's illegal. So if you're yelling, that's a reach, that's not the terminology in the rule book that talks about it being illegal. In fact, it's legal to reach. Where the legality comes into question is if you illegally contact the ball handler when you reach for that ball, okay? One little tidbit on that, when you do reach in, Rule 424.2 also states when you reach for the ball, if you hit the ball or the hand is part of the ball. So if you reach in and you hit the part of the hand that is in contact with the ball, that is a legal play, all right? So when you see somebody reach in, just because they reach does not mean it's a foul. They can reach. By rule, they're allowed to reach. If they illegally contact the ball handler, that's when we've got some. We either got to hit, we got to hold, we got to push, we got to block. One of those 4 calls, all right? That's where the legality comes into question. The second one is over the back. There is no such thing as over the back. You've heard your coaches say over the back in the past when you were growing up. You've heard referees give you, if you're a coach, I'm sure you've heard referees give you an explanation for a call and said, oh, that's a foul because he was over the back. I'm not saying our officials do that. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But I'm sure at some point you heard it, you digested it, you internalized it. And so now we scream it from the stands when we think somebody has jumped over somebody's back. In and of itself, jumping over somebody's back is not a foul. We're not going to penalize somebody for being taller than their inside opponent. We're not going to penalize them for having outstanding leaping ability, more so than their inside opponent. Where the legality of that play on rebounding action comes into question is if the outside opponent displaces the inside opponent or initiates contact. You see it a lot of times with an arm bar, or initiates contact that inhibits, the rulebook terminology is inhibits the freedom of movement of their opponent. So you see sometimes they'll put the outside opponent will put the arm bar in the back of that inside opponent, the rebounder. And when they go to jump for the ball, the inside opponent tries to jump and just can't jump, or they go forward a little bit. That's why we call those fouls. That's going to be a push 100% of the time. But jumping over somebody's back to get a rebound in and of itself is a legal basketball play. You will not find the words over the back found in any NFHS or NCAA rule book. In fact, I don't even think it's in FIBA or NBA's rule book either. So those are two misunderstood rules right there. The third one that I wanted to go over, and I got a couple more. So the third one, I already mentioned the two toughest plays to adjudicate for officials are block charge plays, like crash plays, or traveling plays, right? I wanted to give you kind of a glimpse behind the curtain at what our officials are looking for. And I know they're looking for it because we've taught this on our training meetings to our officials. Block charge plays are one of the toughest to adjudicate because you got two players coming together and there's going to be a crash. It's a highly charged play. It's a play that gets everybody in the stands up off their feet. It's going to, I'm telling you, the emotions are high. You already know this. So what we have to do as officials, we have to have our eyes in the right place to adjudicate this play. And we have to know our rules. Remember how I said earlier that finding the right angles are important? It is no more important, or it's no less important on any other play than it is, or more important than it is block charge plays. Okay, we've got to find an angle to see between the matchup. All right, we see a defender. What we have to look for, we have to referee the defense. All right, there's a reason why a lot of, and this isn't a knock on fans or even you guys watching or coaches. There's a reason why the top officials get block charge plays called or call them correctly and adjudicate them correctly more than a coach maybe would. And that's the reason is because the coach isn't watching their defender the whole entire play. The coach is watching the ball, or the coach is maybe watching the player that's holding the ball. Same thing with fans. What fan sits up in the stands to watch a game other than to watch their kid, right? And is like, oh, let me just watch that defender down there that doesn't have the ball. The ball's nowhere near him right now, but let me just watch them. No, they don't. If I'm the lead official and I've got a competitive matchup on the block right there, on the inline position, and I've got a drive coming, a dribble drive, as soon as I anticipate contact, that there's going to be contact on a crash play for block charge call, the first thing I do is locate the closest defender, the defender that can hurt me the most. And this is what we teach to our officials, right? Locate the defender that's going to hurt you most, which is a secondary defender, possibly stepping up to take this charge. We look for two things, all right? Did they obtain an initial legal guarding position? Guarding position is defined in Rule 423 of the NFHS rulebook as having both feet on the floor with your torso facing the opponent. All right, so the initial legal guarding position, we got a dribble drive coming my way, right? It's coming the baseline or coming the inline or a dribble drive like that. We see a defender stepping up to take a charge. First place, I'm not looking at that ball handler at all because the chances of me getting that call right, if I watch the ball handler, go down exponentially. Stats show us that. The NBA has done a big research on it. So it helps us if we referee the defense. I'm looking at the defender saying, do they got 2 feet on the floor, torso facing the opponent? Yes. Okay, so I'm self-talking. I'm saying legal, legal, legal. So I'm saying to myself. As they get closer, I watch to see if they maintain a legal guarding position. All right? We watch to see if they maintain it. Now, here's the big misunderstood rule. Sorry if I'm boring you guys. The big misunderstood rule on this is you hear when a crash play happens, and let's say you call a charge, and it's against a certain team, right? The offended team, the one who just got called for the charge, you hear everybody scream, oh, the defender was moving. He was moving. He was moving. Well, I'm sorry. Another thing that we were taught maybe earlier on in life that is absolutely not factual according to the rule book. If you obtain an initial legal guarding position as a defender, you're allowed to move to maintain a legal guarding position on that ball handler. You just cannot move toward them and initiate contact. You can move laterally or obliquely at an angle. All right. As long as you do not move toward them. And guess what? By Rule 423, it is not necessary for the defender to keep both feet on the floor throughout the duration of that play. After they obtain an initial legal guarding position, they can move to maintain that position. They don't even have to keep both feet on the floor. They have to keep at least one or jump vertically in their vertical plane. The only thing they can't do is move toward their opponent or after that ball handler leaves the floor by rule. Leaves the floor, then they cannot move underneath.
Underneath them. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about the move forward in the side to side. But so why is there so many bad calls from you guys on that? Like why? Not just you guys. But
Yeah.
I'm not talking LRBA. I'm talking about just why in high school basketball there's so many bad calls on that blocking and charge when basically you're saying if you're not moving forward, if you're side to side on it, it should be called a charge, correct?
If they're what?
If they're not moving forward, if I'm moving side to side, and it should be called a charge because I'm not coming at them and I'm not going under them. That's what you're telling us, right?
As long as that angle that you're moving at is not directed like into the path that's toward them at an angle.
Yeah.
So if you're moving side at an angle and you're staying on your plane here, or you're angling backwards obliquely.
So that's why it's getting called in. That's exactly why it's getting called because of the angle.
To the side, if you move to the side and you move anywhere forward, like toward or into, so if you move forward at contact, you're responsible for contact as the defender. You just cannot move toward because you're responsible for it because that's you initiating contact at the point of contact, right?
But you just answered my question because you said if you're moving to the side, that angle you have to give. If you don't give that angle, it's still going to be a block. It's still going to be a block, not a charge, because you didn't allow that angle.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I was wondering why so many of them just based off the side to side still get called a blocking foul instead of a charge, but they're not giving that angle like you said.
Yep. And honestly, I mean, I'm glad you asked that question too, Toomer, because the reason why a lot of block charge plays get missed is because we have bad angles. All right.
As far as the refs, as far as the alignment of where y'all at. Okay.
And likewise, the reason the perception is that refs get a lot of block charge plays wrong. Sure, we get some wrong, obviously. But can you imagine having to sit in that position, your position in the stands, and officiate a game, the whole game? You can't do it. You know, so your angle that you have in the stands, I already said angles are important. I have to move to improve my angle. Just one step side to side can make all the difference. But if you have to stay stationary in that position, fans don't have the angles that we have a lot of times. I want to show you, if I can, I want to show you one play. Can we try this share screen thing, Barnes?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to try it real quick. Sorry, Lakers, guys. This is a play from the Lakers Golden State play-in game. Let me see. And
work. You're the first one to do this, so
it should work. So let's see here. Well, all right. Maybe it's not going to work, guys. For some reason, I'm clicking the share button. It's not. All right. I'm just going to describe the play. A lot of you guys that are watching the playoffs may have seen it. So one of the toughest. You already said the block charge play is one of the toughest plays, right? Officiating a crash play, block charge play from a C-side drive. So a center side drive, like the weak side of the court where there's only one official, the center, those plays are absolutely the toughest, harder than traveling calls. And the reason is because you've got, and try to picture it in your head, you've got the center official who's about free throw line extended. It's kind of their home base, right? They're on the court, that side of the court all by themselves, all right? So then you've got a center side drive from right in front of them, and you've got somebody stepping up to take a charge. Now the center official is looking through the back of the dribbler, and the lead official is looking through the back of the defender. Nobody has an open look to see between that matchup. Can you picture this play in your head?
Yes.
So we had Anderson for Golden State. Is it Tuscany Anderson or something like that? Tuscany Anderson. He made a C-side drive, so a weak side drive to the basket. And LeBron, if you remember this play in the playing game, LeBron stepped over from a secondary defender position to take the charge, right? The center official was the calling official. We had a crash play, right? There was a crash. Both bodies fell to the floor. All right. In that, this is one of the only times, one of the few times that the camera angle that we have from TV is better than the angle that the officials have, because we're able to see between the matchup at least a little bit. The center official and the lead official, the two potential calling officials, didn't have an angle. They're looking through the backs. They're straight lined. They got a stacked look. So we see LeBron slide over, and there's a crash, and the center official sends it the other way, calls a charge. Everybody erupts. Even me at home, I'm like, ooh, that was a miss, because we had the best angle on that play. Well, fans that watch that are going to think, how can NBA officials, and of course everybody's going to be buzzing about it on Twitter and social media, how can NBA officials who are supposed to be the best miss such an easy call? Well, that's why. Steve Kerr challenged the play. They looked at it on video review, and they were easily able to see that LeBron slid under the airborne Anderson after he had already left the floor. And in the NBA rules, so NFHS says before the player leaves the floor. NBA rules say before he starts his upward shooting motion. All right? He becomes he becomes a shooter in the act of shooting when he starts his upward shooting motion. So we see LeBron slide under. Not only does he belly up, but he leaves his feet and jumps at an angle in his path. That's illegal. That's a blocking foul. Obviously, the officials didn't take long on the call. They reversed the call, and it's a block. That's why angles are everything. Likewise,
I remember that.
Do you guys remember that one? And so it was a great clip. I wish I could have shown it to you guys because it shows the different angles and how they're important. Likewise, there was a game I worked last year near the end of the season, and I won't say team names or whatever, but so I'm the lead official. We've got a dribble drive inline. So I'm the lead official on the inline. Sorry, I'll call it baseline for people that I'd use inline because it's the terminology in the rule book. Anyway, we got a baseline dribble drive, right? Defender for the visiting team guy is the defender, clearly establishes a legal guarding position. Both feet on the floor, torso facing the opponent. I'm watching it the whole way. It's coming right at me on my baseline. I step back a couple steps, open up my angle so I can see between the matchup. I'm self-talking, legal. He moves to maintain it legally to cut him off on the baseline, right? How many of you guys, and think about this for those of you watching, how many of you guys were taught growing up? I know I was. My high school basketball coach taught me to cut off the baseline by placing one of my feet on the baseline. Were you taught that? That's illegal.
Yeah.
That's illegal. So here's the deal. The player, the home team was the dribbler, right? The home team player dribbled baseline. We had a defender slide over who's in a legal position all the way up into contact and takes and absorbs all the contact right into his chest. The ball handler went to and through him. Obvious charge call, right? Everybody in the building thought so. Not so fast. I was the lead official. I'm looking at the feet. I'm officiating the defense the whole way. So I see the defender step on the baseline just prior to contact, which means he is no longer in a legal guarding position. So if contact occurs while he's in an illegal guarding position, then he's responsible for contact. Boom. I call the whistle, blocking foul, and I even point at the baseline so the coaches are aware of why I called that call, why I called a block. Everybody, even the home fans in the gym, guys, were like, oh, you hear a collective moan over the whole, like even the home fans thought it was a charge. They're like, oh, like it was a bad call. Well, what people don't know is he's got to have inbound status to be able to in a legal guarding position by rule 423, right? So he wasn't. When contact occurs, he's responsible for it. That's why angles are everything. If I was in a bad angle, I wouldn't be able to see that. Angles plus rules knowledge helps us get plays right. If you have one without the other, your chances of getting a play call right are very they decrease exponentially. So what I encourage people to do, officials especially, you got to learn the rules. You got to learn the rules. You got to be good at the rules, and you got to fight for open angles. Fans that don't know the rules and haven't spent any time in the rule book, sure, I get it. Emotionally charged. You want your team to win. You want your players to win, to succeed, to do well. I get it. As a fan of certain sports myself, I understand it. But maybe just have a little bit more empathy from time to time and think. When you see a call that maybe could go one or two ways, maybe think to yourself for a split second before you yell obscenities at an official, think, hey, maybe they had a better angle. Or maybe that's a rule I just don't know as well. You know, because those type of rules that I just explained happen all the time. And there's so many that when I became an official, it opened my eyes and I said, goodness, man, I thought I knew the rules on this. I've been taught wrong this whole time on a few of these things. So just something to consider. Those are a few of them. I could go into traveling, which is another big one. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time with you guys. I've already talked for a long time. So sorry about that.
Hey, Tim, before you go, before you leave, anybody that's interested in becoming an official, can you talk about that process? Just giving that information out.
And that's something I wanted to do. I'm glad you asked that, Billy D, because we're always, like I said earlier, we're always looking for quality officials. This is something I'm passionate about. As you can see, I try to do the best job I can night in and night out. I want to invest back into our officials by the training methods and stuff. But I try to recruit at least 2 new officials every year. All right. If any of what I've said piques your interest even a little bit tonight, and you think, hey, I'd like to maybe think about becoming an official, here's something you can do. Go to you guys found the play. Sweet.
I've been, since you was talking, I've been trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah, because it's a good play to look at. We'll come back to it. But if you guys are interested, seriously, I want you to consider it. If you love the game of basketball, you love being around other people, you love working on a team, and you love the game, listen, please consider it. Go to lrboa.org. I created and developed our new website a couple of years ago for LRBOA. Go to lrboa.org, and you can go to the members page. All right, click on members. And then you'll look at the new officials info page. It'll give you some information about becoming a new official. And then you'll fill out you'll complete a registration form, which is the tab right under that. All right. It'll send an email directly to me. We'll have either myself or someone else from LRBOA reach out to you, tell you about how you can get started with it. And that's something I would love for you guys to consider. We're always looking for better officials. We've had a shortage of officials across the country over the last couple of years. And the last thing I want is to see our game that we love, the game of basketball, start to fade off because we don't have officials to cover games. And there's been a shortage across the country, and we're always looking for good ones. So I hope you consider that. Last thing, resource for you guys. If you're wanting to learn a little bit more about the rules, first of all, I always recommend, especially if you have players right now, one of the last things I'll say is, if you have a player right now, one of the things you can do, or you can ask your coach to do, or I don't even say ask the coach. I'm going to talk to coaches too, and hopefully a lot of coaches already do this. One of the things you can encourage at home is for your player to digest the rule book, to learn some of these rules. The players and teams and coaches that preach the rule book and actually teach their team how to do things legally have a significant advantage over teams that don't. You think about the best players in the association right now. James Harden, whether you like him or hate him, he pushes the rules to the absolute limit every single game. And he has learned the rules, and he's used it to his advantage to get calls. All right? Some people call it cheating the game. Listen, if it's legal, it's legal. So I always encourage you, listen, pick up an NFHS rule book. I think there's actually free PDFs online to pick up and read the NFHS rule book and see. I would say start out with the contact rule, which is rule number 10. Section 7. All right. It's the contact rule. Last resource, lrboa.org, our website. Last year, for our rules examination for our officials, I created a study guide. I took a screenshot of all my questions, all 50 questions that the FHSA put out for our officials for our exam. And I printed that off, and I didn't give the answers for it. All right. I put the rule references next, or the rule codes next to it, so you can find the answer easily in your rule book. But if you get a second and you're interested, go through that and just look at some of those questions. It's a tough quiz, man. It really is. And it just will give you some perspective on just how big of a job this is. I'm not crying sour grapes at all. Don't get me wrong, but it's a big job, and there's a lot that goes into it. And maybe it'll give you some perspective about what we're going through. Try to read the quiz, try to answer them if you want to, and then try to go back and look and see if the right answers, and you'll see how difficult it is for sure.
All right. And the last question we got, you got something else, bro?
I was just going to show that clip.
Okay. Last question before we show that clip. We'll ask this question, show the clip, then we'll let you go. What do you want people, coaches, players, fans, to know or expect from you all with Summer League starting tomorrow? Because what is it that if you can give a message to the masses, what would it be?
Thank you for asking that question, Barnes, because that's something I wanted to bring up. Y'all talked earlier about what is the Summer League for from a coach's perspective and from a player's perspective. I mean, obviously, athletes, it's about every time you step on the court, you want to win, right? So it's about competition and sometimes getting exposure. But for coaches, I have to imagine development is high on their list, and that's the same for us, all right? So as we come into Summer League, just know there's things that we're working on with our officials. There's things that we've went over tonight that we're actually training our officials on, that we're trying to get better at. This is a chance for us to develop some new officials, just like coaches are developing new talents on their team, trying to find chemistry, build chemistry on their team. We're trying to do the same thing. So be patient with us. All right. We know it's about competition. We're going to have, I think we have something we worked in our agreement with the coaches this year is to have at least 2 veteran officials on every crew, with one maybe less experienced official to try to help bring them along. So that's kind of our goal, is to try to develop our officials, because listen, some of our officials, myself included, are not getting any younger. So we need to be able to bring up the next wave of talent and help improve us as an association. So that's what you can expect from us. And by the way, I'll be there every night at Summer League except for the playoffs. I have a camp to go to, officiating camp during the playoffs, so I won't be there then. But I'll be there every other night at all venues. So if you see me, come up, introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you guys. I'd love to rub shoulders with you, talk basketball for a little bit, talk ref stuff. If you're interested in joining our association, I'd love to talk to you about that too.
All right, let's look at this clip, man, before we let Chip go.
All right. So you'll see what I'm saying.
If this the right clip, I think it was.
It's the right clip. Yep. I'm glad you figured out the share screen. It's kind of little right now. Can you maximize it?
Hopefully I do this right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the play.
Okay, I can't see you guys, so that's why I was scared.
That's fine.
No, that's fine.
Beautiful. All right, so here's the thing. We got the center official, like I said earlier. And if we don't have the slow motion, that's okay. I had it lined up for us, but if you want to go back and look and pause it right. Back a little bit more. All right, right here. That's perfect. Right now, LeBron James, by NFHS rules and by NBA rules, has established an initial legal guarding position. What's the criteria? He's got both feet on the floor on the playing court with his torso facing the opponent. He's established an initial legal guarding position. He then moves to maintain it. But you'll see as Anderson leaves the floor from our great angle here, which is a better angle than if you look at the center official, who was the calling official right in front of the bench, and then you look at the lead official down on the baseline. Both of them are looking through backs. They cannot see when the point of contact occurred. That's why seaside drives, or as they call it in NBA, slot side drives, they call the center official the slot. A slot side drive is one of the hardest places to officiate because you're looking at backs and butts. That's it. So you can't see the angle that we see, which as Tuma rolls the tape, you'll see LeBron belly up and leave the court before Anderson does and before contact, which makes him no longer in a legal position, which means he's responsible for contact, and that is the reason why they reversed this and overturned this play. That's a blocking foul all day long.
Yeah, plus he jumped in the air.
Yeah. He left his feet. Now, if you leave your feet, last thing I'll say, verticality rules, rule 445 in the NFHS rule book. Verticality rule, if you leave your feet, you have to stay within your vertical plane. So a lot of times we hear people yell from the stands, he was straight up. He was straight up. Well, just because his hands are straight up in the air does not mean he's straight up. He's got to jump straight up within his vertical plane. A vertical plane is the cylinder around your body. If you jump from A to B, if you jump even with your hands straight up in the air, you jump forward or toward that opponent, you're going to be called for a foul. That's illegal contact. If you jump to the side and into the path of another player, like LeBron did, then you're no longer have verticality and you're in an illegal position. So that's just a quick verticality rule for you guys too.
All right. Well,
hopefully some of this has been informative and I didn't bore you guys.
Oh, man, it's been great. It's been great.
Sure, man, I talked a lot.
You definitely bored us, Chip. You definitely bored us.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, but thanks for having me on, man.
It was great information. Billy D, what's rule 4462?
Are you serious right now?
Sorry, I keep saying the rule codes, man. It's in my nature. I read a rule from each rule book every day, from my NCAA and NFHS rule book, so I know all the codes. So anyway, it's just something. I'm a nerd when it comes to referee rules, or basketball. Guys, thanks again, man. I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you coming on, Chip.
You did a great job, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man. Come see me at Summer League, guys. Come say hey. I'd love to talk to you guys.
Yes, sir. We will. We'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah. Right? When I come, I want you to break down them angles on every call that was made.
Not every
Tuma, this is the important call. You be like, Tuma, this is why this is broke down. This is code 44B, whatever you call it. Shit.
Hey, you keep saying 44. Rule 444 is the traveling rule, which we didn't have time to cover tonight, but it's also a very important one. So,
All right.
All right, peace, guys. Thanks again, man. Appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you do. Y'all do a great job.
Thank you. All right, man. That was.
Yeah, man. He good at what he do.
Yeah, man. That was good, Coach Billy D. Coach Johnson wanted to say your phone back working. You got went to the people and got your phone taken care of since last time we was on.
I'm on my laptop today.
Man. Hey,
we still want to trip a little bit, but it's all good.
We about to transition into, man. We're gonna break down week 1 summer league, and we put on the page that we were going to get one fan in, try to get a fan in the man cave to kind of chop it up with us on what the topic of conversation is. So, our first fan that we gonna bring into the man cave. Now, Coach, you right on time. We about to start talking summer league right now. So you right. You missed Coach. Well, you missed a lot of good stuff from Chip Clark officiating stuff. So it was very informative, very educational. So
hey, Chip started to put me to sleep, man. That's a question.
He ain't got no attention span, so I know you.
I ain't got none, boy. I ain't got none. I was listening though. That's why I started asking.
It was good stuff, man. It was good.
It was great. It was great information, man. I honestly. It was great. Put it like that. I ain't no lie. He gave us some knowledge. He got a little deep.
Yeah, he got real deep.
Yeah, that's what he do. He's thorough.
Yeah, he gave us some knowledge.
That was good.
We know all Polk County refs ain't bad, and I don't think Chip just carried a suitcase. Now we know Chip ain't just walking around with a suitcase. He got the code of conduct in his hand too. In his back pocket at halftime. Chip pulling out a reading. Okay, if they travel this code 44BC, I know what call to make.
All right, so our first fan to jump in the man cave with us to chop it up, gonna talk summer league week 1 with us, none other than Mr. Joe Black. What's going on with you, boss?
Same old. What's up, fellas? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Black? Man, I feel some type of way, man. All these cameras on this podcast today, man. Come on,
hey, hold on, man. You just had Barnes hemmed up with a whole bunch of cues at a cookout. Now you feeling some type of way.
Yeah, man.
And he stayed and played spades with you. But now you feel some type of way because it's all capital.
It's all love.
But you say you feel some type of way about us bringing Black on first. You just had
it wouldn't be me
OJ,
if I didn't say anything. I can't let you slide with it.
We just had Simmons on the show. You just had Simmons on the show. We ain't throwing up cute out signs, bro. Come on now. Come on.
I gotta say something. I can't let you slide.
I thought y'all about to hop in the podcast the other day, man.
You gotta be you, man. You gotta be you, man. Appreciate it. So, Black, we appreciate you coming on, man. Anything you want to say for we gonna jump into the first week of the summer league.
Hey, hold on real quick, Bon. Why does this man got a Brooklyn shirt on?
Hey,
First
man.
of all, when you became a Brooklyn fan? You were just a Lakers fan last week.
Listen.
Hey, the Lakers out, man. My boy got to jump on the fence and smoking.
I told you in the gym.
Hey, man. Kyrie gave it to him last night, so my boy said he got to jump on what's smoking. Tomorrow, my boy might have on a Clipper shirt because Kawhi gave it to the people today.
KD the best player in the league.
KD the best player in the league?
Yeah, KD the best player in the league now.
KD, you see how quiet me and Billy D is on that question? What you just said? You see how quiet me and Billy D is?
I mean,
go ahead on the talk.
What about Luka? What's your take on Luka today?
He had a sensational performance, but he ain't had no shooters. Defense is suspect. So, I mean, that's
Luka definitely top 3 players in the league right now.
Luka can get any shot. If you can score on Kawhi consistently, that's when he got my respect. Kawhi is like when he want to guard, bro. It's like he can get any shot he want to get, bro. It's like slow motion shot.
Trae Young is on a tear right now. What he did in the Knicks series and what he did today. You know, people forget.
Anybody see those beating Sixers like that today? I turned.
Somebody called it out. Somebody said they was gonna win that series, man. I can't think of who it was. Somebody said that Hawks was gonna win that series.
I turned on. It was second quarter. They were up 20. I'm like, I got to be looking at the wrong TV.
Up
Wrong
20.
game.
It ended up being a good game, but man, Trae Young, man, he terrorizing it right now.
I like what you said, but that wasn't a bad trade of both of them.
No.
I mean, it landed well for both teams. I'm glad
It worked
Trae Young
out both.
playing just as good.
Who Trae Young got traded for? Help me remind me of that.
Luka, him and Luka.
Yeah. Both of them came up all right on that one. So, all right, well, Black, here we go. We got Summer League starting tomorrow. So, what we're going to do, we're going to just call out each game, and everybody going to get a take on who you think, who you get your input and who you think going to win. We know at least 4 of the games, Black, we know you're going to be a little slanted, so we get it. We understand. But the other ones, try to be objective with the rest of them, And we got the shirts on because officially, since it's Summer League, it's officially a hot sausage summer. So starting tomorrow, I have my little pen and pad and keeping records and stuff. And but anyway, without further ado, the games tomorrow night will be at the field house in Winter Haven, at the Advent Field House tomorrow night, Monday night. I put a thing on the page, let you all know like what courts and what door to come in. So make sure don't nobody have no issues getting in there. But it's gonna be 3 courts, 3 games of each court, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So the first game at 6 o'clock, Oasis making their debut. To try to keep your face straight. Oasis making their debut in the Summer League, and the first game they get Winter Haven. So I don't know if the schedule maker was being funny. I don't know if the schedule maker knew something we didn't know, but you got Oasis Christian versus Winter Haven.
Hey, let me. I always get Oasis and Jordan Christian Prep mixed up. That's why I be so hard on them. I'm not like tough on Oasis Christian. It's Jordan, it's JCP. I be getting them mixed up. But my pick, that's gonna be a hot sausage summer. That's gonna kick off the season with a hot sausage summer.
Okay, I'm with Tumo on that, but I'm curious on how the incoming freshmen play in that game. They got an incoming freshman that kid been playing varsity since like 6th grade.
Oh,
so I'm curious on how.
The post on Delisandro. Yeah, we've been posting a couple things. Coach, he done been to a couple camps, been to the Lucas camp and everything. So, what's your take on that one, Black? I don't know if you know anything about Oasis, and I know everybody know about
Winter Haven.
Winter Haven.
Winter Haven by 50 piece.
By 50. Summer League. Winter running.
Wow.
So they the first sausage they the first Jimmy Dean of the summer.
Burnt
sausage. First game, first sausage.
Burnt sausage.
Burnt, crispy.
Got on the grill sausage.
Hey, all right. The next 6 o'clock game, we got Ridge with the new coach Don Skipper versus Arbandale, Coach Robinson.
Huh?
Ridge, the next 6 o'clock game, Ridge versus Arbandale. Skipper's the new coach at Ridge.
Arbandale.
And and Skipper is, and Coach E is at Arbandale.
I'm gonna go with Arbandale too, just because they got KK and Turner coming back. Ridge, this will be their first time playing together. So just from a continuity standpoint, I'm curious on what they have. I heard they supposed to be getting a few players this summer. So,
well, Ridge brought a lot of them in last year. So I see Mike Sears like skipping the upset. What you like, bro?
Like Arbandale.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Arbandale.
Do y'all even know what Arbandale got? Or y'all just don't know what Ridge got? It don't matter.
They got the turn in the point guard. You just interviewed him.
That's good enough.
That's good enough. Yeah, Eric, I'm sure Eric gonna have more.
Okay. Oh, Poinciana transfers at Ridge. That's right on the line. So, okay. All right. The last 6 o'clock game, Lake Region coach, the new coach Simmons, and out of what it's called, what their name is. It's Apopka. You can't say Apopka because he said the people kind of tripping. So when you see out of the dribble or out of the door, whatever it is, that's so. I guess it's a thing what they counted. So Lake Region and that other team, which is Apopka, and that's interesting because Apopka is coached by Scott Williams, who essentially built Lake Region up. So he's gonna be coaching against his former team. So what's y'all take on that one? That's the other 6 o'clock game.
The
I don't know nothing about Apopka, so
Apopka in the summer league the whole season?
yeah, your boy he got a couple games.
No.
He'll be there tomorrow night though.
Yeah.
6 though. He ain't in there for every game.
He got a couple of play-in games.
Yeah, I gotta come tomorrow then.
I know, look at you. That's you so transparent, bro. So you won't even show up. Now you know and now you there early. You and Mike will be there early. Y'all be there when you get out in the parking lot. Come on, where you been at?
Bro, I wouldn't be sitting on this podcast with you if it wasn't for Scott.
And look at Mike talking about Simmons. Mike saying Simmons getting that sausage. So y'all think Lake Region getting that sausage?
Easy.
Definitely getting the sausage.
Yeah.
Do you even know what Popka got? So it don't matter.
I know what they got. Better than Lake Region.
They better than Lake Region?
Anybody's better than Lake Region.
It's gonna be interesting because I know one of Apopka guards left and went to Leesburg.
Yeah, the freshman, right?
Yes. He
Scott
left
was
with
crying about
Leesburg.
that. Scott was crying.
And
he felt like he lost his best
and I was
friend.
actually able to see what Simmons have. I think it's gonna be a closer game than what everybody think. But
who you picking?
just because
who you picking? Yeah, exactly. Put your ass on the spot.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred on here too. I see Coach.
Yeah, that's why I asked him who he picking. Is he gonna go? Is he gonna go with frat or is he gonna go with basketball?
Man, I mean, you know what? I'm going with the brush, man. I like Lake Region in the upset.
Okay.
Lake Region in the upset.
Let me write it down. So
I got Scott by like 8 to 10. I don't think that's a sausage. I think they know each other too well. So I say I don't know what Scott got, but I think by 8.
Okay.
Apopka by 8.
Hey, Mike, he got to go with frat, man. We didn't expect nothing less on that one, man. But that should be I would have been surprised if he'd have said something different. That's why, we locked that one over the plate for him. So.
Man, he supposed to talk back. He supposed to be basketball. He don't supposed to be no frat talk.
Hey, so we got 3
basketball.
Yeah,
like I said, after what I've seen from Lake Region, I'm encouraged about what he got over there. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be better than what people are giving him.
So they think. I'm just glad they got him.
How many games they won last year? About 10?
Nah, they ain't winning 10. It was less than 10.
Tough in the streets.
League.
Yeah, dude.
League with regular season.
Regular season, they lost. They didn't play in regular season. Lake Region didn't play in the Well, it wasn't no summer league last year, but Lake Region don't normally.
Lake Region only won 3
Simmons
games.
Said they won
year?
3. Yeah.
Okay. Simmons will win 5.
5. So he on the tension on the back side.
Improvement.
Oh, he's definitely on the tension. Simmons got that white flag. He gonna be waving half the season.
Hey, so the 7 o'clock games. First one up, Mckeil versus Lakeland, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But Mckeil just had a tough loss this week. They lost Cooper Ellis to Santa Fe. So
I got Lakeland.
I got Lakeland.
Lakeland.
You got Lakeland, Black?
Hey, Black, you still banned from over there?
I'm not banned. They said I'm not banned no more.
Okay, it was just 1 year.
Okay.
It was a 1 year thing.
Okay.
I don't know, Black. Hey, you might have to go in there with me a bond, but make sure you straight, dog.
Hey, so we
know people over there. We know people that know people. So if you come, he's straight.
Straight.
Be, all right, we ain't gonna do nothing to you.
We got the first glimpse of Lakeland. I know you had a lot of history of Lakeland last year, Black. So what's your take?
Black want to see Lakeland. He said it's state of bus
on the new Lakeland, new and improved Lakeland that they got the imports in and everything. What's your take on that?
State of bus, like Tuma said, is the football players playing, or is it football? That's what.
Good question.
This is the thing that I used to say. I said, back in the day when I was at Lakeland, and I was running summer league. We kind of had I guess an advantage because they were doing football, but we had the games at Lakeland High School. So when they got done with football, they just came up and went in the locker room and came out. The fact that these games are not going to be like tomorrow night, they ain't going to be at Winter Haven. So
well, what time is it? What time is it tomorrow night? They got 8 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock game. So depending on what time they get done with the football workouts, it could be a tough, transition getting to Winter Haven tomorrow night. But the difference is some schools when people doing football, they don't want them doing nothing else. I know, with Council, once they done with him, he don't really care what they do once they leave him, as long as they there for his stuff. So we used to be able to get them in the gym, and sometimes they would play, sometimes they wouldn't. But if they get there, because he ain't just got the 3 from one of Haven, he got 3 or 4 more. He got 6 or 7 football players.
Yeah, he loaded with football guys.
Football kids, So if he got the football kid, I like Lakeland. If he don't, I might what's the name playing Billy D? Is Alex, he still hurt?
No, he'll be playing.
He playing? Okay, so Alex gonna be that's a big loss for Cooper, so he's gonna be by himself. So I think Lakeland might be okay in that one also. All right, the second 7 o'clock game, Frostproof, Tuma Boy versus Lake Wells. Kind of little mini rivalry game because they kind of.
I like that game. I like that game. I like Lake Wells though. I want to see that kid. But I like Lake Wells.
Frostproof kind of low key got a lot of people coming back. So Frostproof might not be in. Might not be it might surprise some people. But anywho, y'all go
3 to 5. I like Lake Wells by 3 or 5 points at the most.
Black, because I know Billy D got to think on it because that's he got to figure out how you want to respond. What you think, Black?
Lake Wells by 7. The freshman coming back, so I
got Lake Wells by 7.
And I know Lake Wells is deeper than Frostproof, but Frostproof, like I said, Trey Channing gonna be one of the best guards in the county. They got a big kid inside, AJ. They got another guard that's playing with us with Tony Bradley too. I think it's gonna be a war. But
that might be the game of the night.
I think so. I don't know how much each team been working out, but I'm gonna go with Frostproof for the win.
Okay. Now, I know that Lake Wells got the 3 guards, the 3-headed monster, but after that, I don't know if they got much after that. I know that Frostproof got 3 good kids, and a lot of people gonna see how good the training kid is that folks ain't kind of seen him. They'll see him in summer league that he can kind of go. And then, like you said, the little J kid that play with y'all. But I think the Cobb kid inside might be the difference too. So just for the sake of summer league, where you ain't keeping fouls and stuff, and you just kind of can, you got to worry about really a strategy as far as fouls go. I think
come on, Phil, don't do me like that. I got kids on both teams, so I'm not going with Frostproof because of my travel ball kid. I got kids on Lake Wells too.
Okay,
but like I said, I don't know how much they've been in the gym. So, I know Frostproof been practicing for a couple weeks. So,
okay, Frostproof got something to prove in the summer league. They got tired of Tuma talking trash last year.
They do.
People got something to prove, man. They ain't coming half stepping. All right, the other 7 o'clock game. This kind of a low key rivalry game. They don't really play in the regular season, which is kind of crazy, but they're gonna play in the summer league. Victory Santa Fe. And from what we got, both Victor and Santa Fe have both picked up big time transfers. So it'll be our first time to see both of them at their new location. So
who Victory got?
Victory apparently got the Kaysen kid. So you got Ricketts and Kaysen versus
Kaysen
kid. The kid from Jenkins.
So you got So you got them 2 against Trey and Cooper. That's potentially going. That might not be a bad little game either. At least from the guard position, that may not be a bad little mix. What you think, Black?
I like Victory.
You like Victory?
Victory by 3.
Victory by 3. Okay, I'm writing it down.
Man, I think Blicker got too much experience. Cooper and Trey gonna be seniors. You know what I'm saying? I really think they got something to prove this year. So I'm gonna go with Santa Fe.
Oh, okay. My bad, Coach. I didn't know y'all played in the regular season. So
I got Santa Fe too. I got Santa Fe because don't the big kid from Tampa still there?
Yeah, they still got the big
Harvey. And he got the shooter, so he got the 2 guard. He got Trey and Cooper.
I think that might be the difference.
The freshman, and he got that big center.
Is the kid
freshman won't be playing though?
Thompson ain't playing, is he?
He's not playing. No.
Okay. But he got the big kid inside though, and I don't think
remember a couple months ago they had prayed for him. He's still dealing with that situation, so he won't be playing.
Yeah, based off.
I I don't know what Victor got, so I'm riding with Santa Fe regardless.
Based off of what being inside, based off Santa Fe don't really have no. I don't think Victory got no post player, and they got the big Wilson kid. And I see from a little take that Wilson been having a good good off season. So I think I like Victor has shooting Mike and Dino. I think Victor got some guard, but I just don't think they got nobody inside to stop to deal with the big Wilson kid. So for that reason, I like Santa Fe too. But I think that's going to be a pretty competitive game too.
But the Wilson kid won the offensive player. He was just defensive.
He a presser. He's 6'6", and I don't think unless Victor got somebody, Victor always bringing those kids from overseas. So if they got a big kid, which I know they got a big kid last year. So I think they match up pretty well, except for inside. I think Santa Fe got the Harvard Wilson kid, which I don't think Santa Fe got nothing against him. So for that reason, I like them. All right, so we move to the 8 o'clock games. Kind of some more rivalry games. First one is Lake Gibson, George Jenkins, and this one is kind of interesting because Lake Jenkins got about 3 or 4 kids from Lake Gibson that's playing with them now. And so the first game they got is against Lake Gibson. Lake Gibson with the new coach, Coach Boatwright. So what's y'all thoughts on that? And then it's a little semi-rivalry game because it's Lake Gibson Jenkins, but
Jenkins by 15.
Jenkins by 15.
So Jenkins finna get
I like Jenkins too.
So Jenkins finna get a sausage.
No, Jenkins gonna win.
Jenkins giving the sausage, you said.
Sausage.
Oh, I don't 15 in the sausage though. You got to be 20. You got to be 25 plus.
Definition of sausage. What's for Summer League? What is the criteria for sausage? Because we got these shirts.
25 or
better is sausage. Anything?
Hold on, Lake Gibson might get that sausage put in there. Let me take that. Yeah, you're right, Black. Lake Gibson ain't get there. Sausage.
So this
Bro,
is
a lot of things going. Lake Gibson.
21 and up. 21 and up. Mike got a good point. 21 and up.
21 up for the summer sausage. So this is gonna be a sausage game. We saying.
Yeah, this is gonna be a sausage game.
3 or 4 kids left, and I don't know if them football kids. I heard they might not participate either.
Yeah, them guys ain't. Yeah, this sausage game right here.
So we got 2. This is the second sausage game. So the first one is Oasis Winter Haven, and the second one is Lake Gibson Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The second 8 o'clock game is Sebring. This just for money. Sebring versus Discovery. Sebring, that could be a good one with O'Hearn versus.
That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good game. And the word on the street is that Sebring got a couple kids in also. Like so 2 or 3 kids came to Sebring. Yeah.
I'm rocking with Sebring then.
I gotta go with Discovery.
Oh man, of course.
That's a Bartow.
You Bartow guy.
So Tuma, you like Sebring, Blight like Discovery. Billy D, who you say you like? I like Sebring too.
I'm gonna go with Sebring. Sebring. But I think it's gonna actually be a really good game.
Discovery got a kid that I won't say too much, but they got a kid who ain't gonna be too bad for him. So in the last game, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, they're supposed to be getting another kid soon. So it's still gonna be some movement here soon.
All right, and then the last one tonight is Kathleen versus Bart. So that's the last 8 o'clock game. Black I can go on right there. What's yours gonna be?
Is Bartow splitting their team or are they playing full throttle?
Tomorrow night, what I get, they playing everything. They ain't got it's just one game tomorrow night. So I think they all playing together.
Hey Bartow, another sausage.
Sausage game. All Bartow games. Blight say Blight say that Bartow gonna have to be a sausage game tomorrow against Kathleen.
Bro, I like Bartow, but I don't like him for the sausage though.
Yeah, I don't like him for no sausage.
All right, so everybody like Bartow. I like Bartow too, but I don't think it's gonna be sausage.
I ain't say I like the Bartow.
Oh, so you say you like Bartow anyway.
I don't know what Kathleen got, but I mean, McGriff don't be. McGriff might play 5 JV guys. He don't care.
Yeah, he'll do something like that.
Yeah, I don't even want to pick that game. I don't want that game to mess up my record.
Yeah,
Nope.
I don't trust McGriff.
You don't know what McGriff gonna do with. Okay.
I don't trust McGriff, so I'm staying out of that game.
Oh, Simmons say bar to about 20. Sheesh. All right, so Tuesday we move to Florida Southern. All right, we got three games, 3 courts. 6 o'clock game. Bartow Lake Gibson. That's another sausage.
Oh yeah.
Bartow, that's
Hey, listen. Does OC? What's it? OP? Whatever they call? Do they play Lake Gibson?
Oasis.
Oasis, yeah.
Yeah, I think they do.
Oh man! Oh Lord, we got the Well Oasis shirt this time.
They might not.
Oh man, he set us up, man. Man, that guy set us up, man.
They might not. They on the other side. They might not. I don't know. But
man, that guy set us up. He knew he was playing Lake Gibson, man.
All right, so everybody, I know Black. I already know you got. I know you got. Watch on the second side game on Tuesday. Santa Fe Mckeil. That's Tuesday night. Santa Fe Mckeil.
Who in Mckeil?
Santa Fe versus Mckeil.
Santa Fe.
I got Santa Fe.
You like Santa Fe too? Yeah, I like Santa Fe too in that one. I think that what's name loss gonna be major for Mckeil. That's gonna be tough to come back from.
I hope they ain't got their schedule done yet.
And then right now, I don't know. Did somebody that we pick up? Did Apollo pick up a game on Tuesday night?
I don't know.
It said TBA, so I don't know if Apollo got a game at 6 o'clock. But hopefully they got somebody to step in and play them. But right now it don't say, so we ain't nothing to pick. We don't know who they playing. 7 game. George, this is gonna be an interesting one. George Jenkins versus Victory. So the Cation kid get to play against his old team. Jenkins gets versus Victory. 7 o'clock.
Victory.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Victory also.
What you think, Black?
Victory.
I like Jenkins. I'm gonna go with Jenkins. I don't know why.
Hey man, we got to wear a Oasis shirt, boy, this summer. Well, I hope they don't play.
Hey, the next 7 o'clock game: Discovery versus Oasis.
Who?
Discovery versus Oasis.
Discovery.
Yeah, I like
Discovery.
Yeah, I like Discovery.
That's another sausage.
And then the 7 o'clock game: Lakeland, Kathleen.
Ooh.
Lakeland.
That's at Florida Southern, right?
Florida Southern, yes, sir.
They can make it over there. It's across the street.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Bell on this one.
You got the belt.
I'm gonna go with
I got
Kathleen.
the Bell.
You got the lean.
Oh, Black. I hear
Black got the
you.
lean. Black, you gonna be back in the doghouse.
I know.
All right. So the 8 o'clock games. Amir going to the Red Devil. Breaking news. All right. 8 o'clock game. Arbondale. These 8 o'clock games, these 3 Arbondale games, 8 o'clock games might not be bad. Arbondale versus Frostproof.
Arbondale.
I'm gonna go with Arbondale too. But that might be a good game.
Yeah, that might be low-key a good game.
I got Arbondale on that one.
Cheney versus Nash ain't gonna be a bad matchup. But I think Arbondale will get that one too. But I don't think it's gonna be.
It's gonna be the role players. It's gonna be who contribute as role players in that game.
What about Winter Haven versus Ridge? I saw somebody earlier. They don't think that Winter Haven gonna play their kids. I don't know if that was just Monday night or that's all week. But I mean, they can not play their kid, they main 3 and beat Oasis. I don't know if they can play their main 3 and not beat Ridge though.
Yeah.
What y'all got? Practice ability? Y'all got practice or something?
No, bro, we shut it down for the month of June, bro. We do not touch them in the month of June. We let them go back to their high schools so they can, improve at their high school. So it won't be on us, bro.
You sure Bernie ain't doing a sneak practice or something?
Bro.
The kids ain't playing. Why the kids ain't playing, man?
I read that somewhere. Somebody said
I won't be surprised if James don't play. I wouldn't be surprised if James don't play, but with Isaac and JP and the other kids, I'm just saying, you know, when you start getting those high level kids, sometimes they just don't, you know, they don't play summer league.
They don't show up. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think that Tony Bradley played summer league his year. I don't think he did.
He didn't play all of them. He missed a couple of them. I remember him missing a couple.
Yeah, he missed a couple of them.
He was at the games, but he didn't play. So yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
All right. What about Lake Wells, Sebring? That's the other 8 o'clock game.
Lake Wells.
You like Lake Wells?
I like Lake Wells too. I
Wells.
like everything. I like Lake Wells.
I like Sebring.
I like Sebring too, Black. Game tonight. Arbondale Rick. Lake Gibson, Santa Fe.
Sausage.
So Lake Gibson is just automatic sausage. We ain't even got to talk about that. What we're saying?
It depends on who they playing.
Okay, so all right. Another 6 o'clock game. Mckeil, Bartow. Is that a sausage game?
Bartow.
Sausage. Yeah, that's a sausage game.
Well, no, my bad. That ain't a 6 o'clock game. The other 6 o'clock game is Oasis Arbondale. Is that a sausage game?
Yes.
Oasis got a long summer till they play Lake Gibson.
All right. So 7 o'clock, Kathleen Jenkins. Another rivalry game.
Kayleen.
Y'all all like Kathleen? You like Kathleen?
Yeah, I like Kathleen.
Okay. Frostproof Discovery.
I like Frostproof.
I'm gonna go with Frostproof too.
What you got, Black?
Weed.
You like Discovery Weed? Well, we already know Weeds. Like Weeds, he show us the, you know. He got that bar.
That's him with a losing record.
I like Frostproof too. 8 o'clock, Victory Lakeland.
Lakeland, if their kids are playing.
So if their kids don't play, then you don't lose the game.
I'm saying that's a no. Yeah, if all of them kids don't play, we talking about 6 or 7 kids though, Tuma. That's a major difference.
I'm just asking, so if they don't play, you don't lose the game. No, I'm asking the question because I want to pick in the same manner. I want to be able to make them type of statements. I want my record to be solid. Because if they ain't playing, we picking them. Then if it's an if, I don't want to take the L. I don't want to pick Lakeland. I just don't want to pick Lakeland unless they playing Oasis because you never know who's playing or not.
I'm gonna go with Lakeland this week. This week will give me a telltale sign on how next week will go.
Okay, so you like Black you like Lakeland or Victory? You said Lakeland Black? Oh, he's talking. Lakeland. All right. Other 7 o'clock.
I'm going with Victory. I'm gonna go with Victory because I don't think them boys gonna play 3 nights in a row.
Okay. Sebring, Haven.
Winter Haven. If they lose, it's Jamie's fault. Big Jamie.
It's on Jamie if they lose.
It's on Jamie if they lose.
Winter Haven, Sebring, who you got, Black?
Winter Haven.
Okay. 9 o'clock game. We already said Mckeil and Bartow. Y'all got Bartow. That's a sausage game, y'all said?
Yeah, that's a sausage game.
Ridge, Lake Wells.
Lake Wells.
Lake Wells.
Yeah, I like Lake Wells too. Then Thursday, we got 4 games this week. So Jenkins.
But they got a real summer league, huh?
They doing 4 the first week. Yeah, Jenkins, Mckeil.
Jenkins. What they playing at on Thursday?
At Arbondale too. Wednesday, Thursday, Arbondale.
Okay.
Who you like?
Everybody probably can take him off. Just talking about let's go.
10 o'clock, Santa Fe, Kathleen.
Santa Fe.
I give him $30 for that car now.
7 o'clock, Bartow, Victory.
Bartow.
About 2 weeks ago, he didn't lose that.
7 o'clock. Woodhaven Cross Crew.
Whatever.
Black, you like Woodhaven Cross Crew?
Woodhaven.
8 o'clock. Lake Wales Oasis.
Sausage. Hey, they might pull out the league after the first week.
Oh man. 8 o'clock. Discovery Ridge.
Discovery.
I don't need no
Discover.
I get up on it and trip that traffic and wind up.
Oasis might be done after the first week, man.
Lakeland, Lake Gibson. Is that a sausage?
That already still mad.
Yes.
Listen, man. Lake Gibson getting sausage all summer long.
Lake Gibson, the hot sausage all summer long.
Them and Oasis, yeah.
All right, and last one.
Hey, anybody playing Lake Gibson saying the little slang that they got going on with the girls. We outside this summer. They excited. They excited about that, man.
And the last,
Just say he lost three guys to Jenkins, right?
right.
Yeah. He
Arbondale,
might have 8th graders.
Arbondale Sebring.
Arbondale.
Arbondale Sebring, coach. Arbondale Sebring, Black.
Arbondale.
I'm gonna go with Princeton with this one. I'm gonna go with Sebring.
Okay. All right, so that's all the summer league. I post our picks on the page tomorrow. So we did this. We kind of put a status up, y'all. So we may not get to all the teams, but we're gonna do a couple. Best player in the last 10 years at each high school.
The best player?
The best player in the last 10 years.
How many teams? Give us 3 teams today.
We'll do 3 teams today. So 2011 to now. Okay.
All right.
So we want to do random teams. So I kind of wrote some down. So I'm just gonna close my. I ain't gonna look at the paper. I'm just gonna kind of hit the name of the school and then we'll talk. Lake Wales.
Dominique Jones,
Marcel White.
2007.
I think it was prior.
Marcel White.
Black, you around that time? You know Lake Wales?
I mean,
it gotta be Marcel White and Russell Wilson.
I like Doug.
So Marcel White, Russell. So would Doug be considered in that last well, if you say Russell Wilson, they got Doug too, right?
Wouldn't be considered.
Yeah. Well, Russell was on 5A Player of the Year, so.
So Russell, Marcel, Doug.
Yeah.
Where Marcel went to school at after?
Jacksonville.
That's the shooter, right? He shoot the threes and stuff now in the summer league.
Yeah, he does it all. He's about 6'5", got a body.
Yeah. Marcel. I like Marcel too.
That's the one he was at Frostproof before, right?
Yeah. We talked. Yeah, that's the one. He definitely in the last. I like Marcel.
Doug went to VCU. No, not VCU. VCU, right?
Yeah, he went to VCU.
Shaka Smart, right?
VCU.
Yeah. Marcel definitely.
Okay. So I got Marcel, Russell, Doug. So y'all going with? Do we want? I'll just put it on the page, or y'all? We can put it on discussion. So we got 3 players, but y'all both saying Marcel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are 3 players definitely get good discussion off of.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Next school.
One thing I can see.
Mckeil. It's only really 2 players in Mckeil, right? That's Bacon and Torrey, right?
Yeah.
Wait, Cooper Ellis be included? Well, let me back up. I talked about this with a coach before we got. His take was the criteria had to be. He think they had to be at least 2 years at the school to be in consideration. Y'all go with that, or can it be a one-hit wonder?
Oh, gotta be.
If we don't, I can't name 3 players at Mckeil.
So they got to be at least 2 years at that school.
Like 2 years.
I can't name somebody. Yeah, I can't name
we would say
Corey,
Bacon,
Cooper,
and Cooper Ellis. That would be they 3.
Cooper Ellis. Yeah.
That made sense, Black.
That made
2 years. Okay, well, it's going pretty quick. You ain't really got much discussion. All right, the third one.
Bro, you chose Mckeil.
I'm just random picking. Arbondale.
Keon.
Chance was name.
So
Keon.
By our definition, Diego don't get it included because he's only there for 1 year, right?
He wasn't gonna get included anyway.
He wasn't get included anyway in the last 10 years?
Nah, not Auburndale.
Last 10 years.
Only
You got the Turner kid.
Which one?
the one that's playing.
The one
At Middle Tennessee.
Isaiah?
No, the other one. The other one's 10 years, ain't he?
Josh? Is
Josh?
Josh
Josh.
been longer than 10 years? I don't know when Josh was there.
I don't remember when Josh was there.
I think Josh was there one time. Billy D was.
But he ended up going to like Sunrise Christian.
Yeah.
But he ended up going like the Sunrise Christian.
Yeah,
But I
he
like
played 3
Keon.
years Auburn there.
What
Keon
about
definitely. Keon definitely like the best. Keon the best player to come through Auburn there.
Then maybe Elmo. And Elmo after him.
That'll be the 3. So Keon, Josh, and Elmo. That's what we're going with the last 10 years.
Yeah, but Keon, that ain't even close. Keon, boy.
Josh never played at Auburndale. Simmons said he never played at Auburndale.
Josh did play at Auburndale. Josh played at Auburndale. I watched him play at Auburndale at the Tip-Off Classic against Kathleen. But that might have been. I thought he was like young, like 08. He was like a freshman in 08. So he.
If he didn't play, so who would be the other one? So
Josh played at Auburndale, bro. He played there, like he played. I remember this boy. I remember this boy giving Kathleen problems back in 08 with Mckeil. I remember him going off about 30 something over at.
But I think he finished at like Sunrise Christian or something.
I thought he got in trouble.
Did play that.
Sunrise, but I thought he played some at. Auburndale, but I could be wrong.
But you ain't know. I'm telling you, I watched the kid play with Auburndale.
Like I said, I like Keon anyway. So
yeah, I like Keon.
Keon, Elmo, and Josh. That's what we're saying. We'll do 3 for each.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll do one more just for the sake of time. Chance,
Devon.
Chance, Devon.
And probably Keyshawn Bryant.
Oh yeah, Keyshawn, Chance, Devon, and Keyshawn.
Okay.
And Keyshawn did 2 years there, so we can't argue. To me, Keyshawn.
He did 3 actually. He did 3.
Hey, Keyshawn the best. Keyshawn to me the best out of them 3.
So
I don't agree with that.
Is Josh the best player from
you don't agree with that? Oh yeah, Devon went to Florida. You're right.
Devon went to Florida. Chance broke the scoring record. He broke Jamie's scoring record with over 2,000 points.
So
yeah. I'm looking at life after when.
Yeah.
I like Devon. I like Devon. Devon was the best out of them in high school. Yeah.
But looking at their high school work,
Devon.
Keyshawn got a big upside.
Yeah, Chance had the scoring thing, but Devon was special, bro. Devon was up for Mr. Basketball, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Devon.
All right. So we did 4 of them, so we'll do a couple more next time. So we'll do 4. So
that's tough, boy. Cause Chance was a problem, dog.
He was.
That's tough. Chance was a problem, dog. Chance was a 40 piece, like giving you 40 problem. I saw Chance give 40 to Auburndale.
Left hand problem. You saw Chance play Black?
Nah, what year was that? I think I was.
Yeah.
Like 16.
I saw Chance give 40 though.
Like 16.
Yeah,
17.
he was a freshman in 2012.
I was at Cookman.
Okay. All right, so Trent Chance graduated 15. Okay. So transfer portal, y'all. We know that Cooper Ellis is at Santa Fe. We know that the Cation kid is at Victory.
I did not know the Cation kid was at Victory, bro. So that's new news today. You posted that?
I kind of knew it, but you know how we is. We don't really post on and talk about it because we don't want nobody saying that you hating or whatever. So,
well, we knew he was leaving. We knew he was leaving, so it ain't no surprise.
Yeah. I got it from from a good source yesterday that he had victory. So that's why I'm saying it. Jenkins got three kids from Lake Gibson. And tomorrow we'll see that other people got other people because it's summer league, so they gotta be over there. So we always kind of have a couple of minutes that we talk about transfer portal. So what's y'all take on the portal? Are we gonna wait until we actually see the kids with the full ramp tomorrow before we say anything about it?
Some of the moves ain't making sense.
What's that, Black?
Some of the moves ain't making sense.
Okay, speak on it. What don't make sense?
I feel the Cooper move don't really make sense. You know, he worked out with Blicker. That move don't make sense to me.
You think he'll stay to Mckeil?
Gonna pick up. It doesn't make. There's no move that makes sense with that. With Cooper going to, he's not going to the office. It's my opinion.
He's not gonna what now?
I mean, he's not. Never mind the office. He's getting at Mckeil. It's not going to skyrocket at Santa Fe. Santa Fe got a schedule. He ain't gonna get through what? Ain't gonna make it to the White House. He got a chance at Mckeil making it to the White House than he do at Santa Fe. Dogs. So
are you saying that he? I want to use the old word. Do you think he overrated?
I'm not saying. I'm saying.
Hey, how many times have we said that you get looked at during the summer? So what's the transfer reason got to be like? Is it to go to college? Is he thinking he's gonna get college offers for transferring over there? Well, I don't know who he's playing with this summer. Who is he playing with? He playing with first family or whoever?
Tampa Titans.
They travel.
He has history with Blicker.
I don't know.
He trained with Blicker. I think he played him and Trey played like at a younger age with Blicker, like on a travel ball team. That's what I heard. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I heard that too. And they train with Blicker.
If you look at what Blicker got coming back, if you got Blicker and Trey together, that's a pretty good backcourt. Then you got the Daniel kid, that's a pretty good trio of guards. And then they got the big kid Wilson inside. So maybe he's looking at.
I mean, they're gonna have a better. He's gonna be able to compete. Mckeil ain't gonna play nobody like Blicker. Blicker gonna schedule the dogs.
Yeah, Blicker don't.
He's gonna have to because Calvary Christian gonna be loaded again.
They ain't that same.
Calvary Christian gonna blow them out again. They're gonna get that sausage put in them again.
The region and change. They still in the same region with Calvary Christian and all them other.
They haven't put it out yet. I'm assuming that it's gonna stay the same.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's a no-win situation with Calvary Christian down south. He still got St. Andrews down there, and you got Bishop McLaughlin over in Tampa with the kid that just committed to
Houston.
To Houston.
I never knew Bishop was in the same. Yep, that's right. They played each other in the championship game.
Yeah. Exactly. And then the Dillon kid over at Bishop, but
Sharp is.
I say you got to play a hell of a game.
Sharp almost got a game like daggone Luka and at the high school level. His body don't look like he should be able to get off like he be getting off, but that dude can score, man. That dude don't.
That guy, you say like Luka, yeah, he definitely remind me of Luka, bro. He
a Luka type game, bro. If you look at him,
he's probably the most dominant offensive player in the state tournament last year. Dominant, like he gave you 39, and it was a witness of 39. It wasn't just shooting free throws, bro. He was like, he gave you 39. Like you be like, hold on, 7 straight possessions, boom, 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 boom. Like whoa,
yeah.
That dude the best. That kid the best offensive player in the state right now to me. From what I saw at the Civic Center last year, there's not another kid better than him offensively.
He down right now. He broke his leg, so I think he's down for the summer.
He got hurt.
But didn't he commit to somewhere? Where he committed to?
Yeah,
Houston.
Went to Houston.
That's an offense. They play wide open, don't they?
Yeah, but Kevin Sampson. That's a good pick. That's a good choice for him. Okay, so all right. So last question before we get off. Well, first of all, want to say congratulations to the 2 signings that came this week. Marquise Rue signed with Lewis and Clark. And where is that at? Tennessee? Anyways, Lewis and Clark. And Jan Jaliski from Vanguard side with 5 Towns College in Texas. So I want to say congrats to both those young men on
congratulations
on getting a chance to play at the next level. But I want to ask each one of you all before we jump off a question. We always kind of ask a question, just that could be basketball related, could be personal related, could be professional related. It's very simple, so it may not be a simple answer, but it's a simple question. What does success look like for each one of you? What's your definition?
Repeat that, boy. Definition of success.
What does success look like to you?
Jay-Z.
Achievement. And the right, Billy.
I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
What he said? I ain't hear you, Black.
Achievement never feel a human endeavor.
That's definitely a success.
Ain't that right, Billy D?
Hey,
you know it.
I saw that. I watched the what's the name I Am Athlete the other day, and they asked that question. They gave some different answers, like some personal, some professional. It was kind of interesting, so I figured I would throw it at y'all on here. Just what's your definition? Because everybody defines success in a different way. Everybody, if you ask that question to 10 different people, you might get 10 different answers, and they all could be right because nobody has the blueprint necessarily on what success is, unless you kind of define it for yourself based off of whatever it is that you're working on or what you're working towards. So,
to me, success is just positive steps towards a common goal. I just look at it like that. If you got goals and you taking steps towards those, you got, because you're gonna always have roadblocks. Ain't nothing. There's no one person that I know that gets to the top and it just everything they do is totally successful. So that's why I say just common positive steps to your common goals.
Okay.
And one thing I live by is that you want to improve daily. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just 1%. You know what I'm saying? 1% every day. I want to be able to go to sleep at night, know that I left everything out on the floor, everything out on my job, or everything I gave to my kids and make them better or self-improvement. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get better every day. And I want to elevate or try to help other people around me get better. And that's what success is for me. I'm not I'm not going to be rich, especially being an educator. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be rich knowing that I help these kids get scholarships and watch them graduate. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm in this.
Okay.
Boy, trying to get rich, boy. And all means necessary, boy, trying to get rich.
Hey, I'm definitely
trying, boy.
Hey, before we jumped on here tonight, man, I've been in my own little lab, man. Teachers, I say this summer, man. I try to learn something new every summer, so I'm trying to learn some new financial stuff this summer, man. So it's definitely that's.
Man, share that information. Share that information.
And I get it, man. That's what it is. Black, what's your definition?
We can't share the guy that just want to be in the education.
Black, what success look like to you?
Uplifting this generation. We just have the information, hold it. We gotta actually give it, impute it on the next generation. That's what I feel success is.
Okay.
That's awesome, bro.
It's crazy. What's crazy, bro? All 4 of us are in education, man.
Hey, don't put my business out there like that.
And the thing is, we all in education. From a
man.
Point, you got to educate yourself, which is crazy because we're in education. You got to educate yourself outside of education,
right? In
order to financially get to a different level. So it's like you almost got to be in the conversation. You got to be in those. You got to be networking. You got to be in those rooms in order for you to have the access to the knowledge. Because it's not that we don't have the work ethic for the most part. We just don't have the access. And so what I've been trying to work on is increasing my access. And I think my access will impact my success as it relates to finances outside of education. So that's been my thing. That's this summer. That's what I'm working hard on, just trying to increase my access, trying to increase my knowledge outside of what I do, what pay the bills, for lack of a better way of putting it. So
the payback, Barnes, that was on Am Athlete. Fred always talk about exposure leads to expansion.
Yeah.
So you got to a lot of stuff.
They had different rules. Like I told my boy, he just finished up at West Point. You and some of them conversations that you in with some of these people, a lot of us ain't got that kind of access. So you got to make sure you take advantage of them rooms and them conversations, and don't burn them bridges and just sit there and just soak it in, because you just never know where that stuff's gonna come back. It may not come back right then. It may come back 6 months from now. It may come back a year from now. Bro, you don't have a couple of things that came up that you don't have to kind of go back and reach back to, but it's just about the access to the information, man. It ain't that we won't do it. We just a lot of times don't know about it.
Yeah.
And then the thing for me, if I know something, like Billy D just said, if I know something, then if you cool with me and you want to know, then you gonna know it. I just that's just how I believe. Everybody don't think that way. Some people get the information, they think, I got it, so I'm gonna keep it, and they kind of, keep it close to their vest, like somebody didn't give it to you, bro. You ain't come up with it. You didn't wake up with this information. Somebody had to get you the information, and now you're gonna act like it's yours. So I never live by that. But success to me is just trying to increase my access, and hopefully that'll increase my success. So, Black, we appreciate you chopping up in the man cave with us tonight, man. So we got these shirts on. So starting tomorrow night, Summer League. Everybody, congrats once again to the class of 2021. Everybody has graduated. They're supposed to graduate. So congrats to young men and young women. Hopefully you all are on your way to the next step in your journey, be it college, be it the workforce, be it the military, whatever the case may be. We will be at the field house tomorrow night, and field house on Monday, Florida Southern on Tuesday, Arvindale on Wednesday, Arvindale on Thursday. So full week of summer league ball. So glad the kids get a chance to get in there and compete. We'll be back next week. We'll be giving out these hot sausage recognition. We'll be talking about games next week and things of that nature. We appreciate Chip Clark coming through to officiate to kind of give us some information, a lot of knowledge. A lot of knowledge he gave us that we didn't know. I definitely didn't know some of the things. I wanted to ask him about the thing when you jump, but we ran out of time about, when you jump and you kick out, I players doing that now in the jump start, they kick and they get in the foul. How would they officiate that at the high school level? But we kind of ran short of time because that's happened a lot at the NBA level. NBA gonna trickle down to high school at some point.
Bro, we ain't ran time. Chip was just about to put us to sleep.
Chip was thorough, man. Chip was thorough. So
he
was thorough. But everybody don't like thorough in the summertime. Everybody don't like thorough in the summertime. Everybody wants you to be completed to the point. So
hey, I need Billy D to learn them codes.
I think we working tomorrow night, bro. So you get to be able to critique it tomorrow night. I know you're gonna be there, so Scott gonna be there, but Billy D working tomorrow night. So
Billy D repping tomorrow?
Yeah, Billy D working tomorrow night. Yeah, you'll be able to check my boy out. My boy got.
I don't know I'll be there that long. That's a late game, boy. I don't know I can manage that one.
I know your attention span won't be there too long, so I'll be there for it, so I can actually see.
This the only week I get to check it out, so I needed to take advantage of it. I'm gonna be locked in after this.
You locked in next week, so you ain't gonna be able to see the Winter Arvindale game next week.
What time that is?
I don't even know the time, but I know they next week. It's next Monday though. But we'll talk about it next week. I know they 14. But anyway, man, we appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. Everybody, y'all hope y'all enjoy your weekend. If you're gonna be at the field house tomorrow night, we'll see y'all at the field house. So, Coach, appreciate y'all rocking with us as always, man. And all hearts and minds are clear. We'll do it again. Y'all enjoy your summer. Y'all be safe, and we'll catch up with y'all. Be easy.